And
We're live on the intranets.
hello, internet.
Hello, internet.
And Erin was like, she has this friend who she thinks is a bit dense. And the friend was like, yeah, I don't know that the hurricane's going to be that bad. Like all this kind of stuff. And Erin was said to her, insert name, said, are you serious? I turned the news on today and the meteorologist was crying.
Gonna be a motherfucking Cat 5.
Oh, it's already a Cat 5. They said so.
I love the assholes that are going, oh, well, by the time it hits land, it'll be a Cat 3. And it's like, yes, but it'll be wider, and it'll have all the storm surge, and it'll have more water and power. All the category does is talk about wind speed, motherfuckers.
Yep. They call it wave memory. I learned that today.
Yes.
Very good.
But yeah, no, that's supposed to be pretty bad.
Yeah,
They
I've
basically
reached-
said this is the last thing I saw from a meteorologist today was about 20 minutes before I got here, and it said that we're nearing the mathematical limit of what our atmosphere can produce with this storm.
Wow.
And this is the
What?
second strongest storm ever in the Gulf. And the strongest storm that's ever been produced by the Atlantic Basin.
Okay. Wow.
They said that Rita, I think was that one's name in 2005, was the only one stronger in the that was coming
Gulf.
through the Gulf.
Yeah.
But the storm itself originated in the Atlantic Basin, and it is the strongest storm the Atlantic's ever produced.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is fucking crazy.
It's things, they could be knocked back to the fucking Stone Age, man.
Let's turn our attention to producer Mel. You had yourself a little adventure this
Let's say on a
Sunday.
lighter note,
Yeah. Didn't you, producer Mel?
I did Renfest and left your broken ass home.
Yep.
I have a question, and it's the first thing that's going to come up in anyone's mind. Did a turkey leg make it into your pocket?
No, but a
Was
pork
there
chop on a
pocket
stick.
sliders?
Did you wear cargo shorts so you could fit a turkey leg in your pocket?
No, I do not do the turkey legs. I am pork chop on a stick or steak on a stick.
Nice. Shit on a stick.
But
my dad used to call,
So met up with my family because my Navy sister is in town. They are stationed in Pensacola, and so her house isn't ready. They packed up the stuff, so she's staying up here for a few days, 2 or 3 days, with the new baby and the niece. What?
You said stationed in Pensacola, but not anymore. They're being moved up to
Norfolk.
Norfolk, yeah.
Yep.
Hence why she's up here.
Okay, so their house isn't ready in Norfolk.
Right.
Yeah.
I say she's been in Pensacola. What's wrong with the house?
She's moving to Norfolk. They've got restationed. And so she's moving there. Sorry, I'm distracted because there's something really weird going on with your camera that I need to fix, and I don't understand what's wrong.
Nice. Well, that's good. She'll be closer.
Yes.
Be able to see the nieces a bit more.
Met
or
the
niece and
baby.
nephew, rather.
Met
Yep.
the baby.
The nephew, yep.
Baby is a baby. I don't really care for babies, but Stella is so cute. She's at the toddler age where she's got opinions. And my favorite thing about Stella, she'll give you opinions because we got there and there's all sorts of people dressed up around. And she was like, oh my God, I can't. Everything is everywhere. And there's a guy next to us putting on his little wizard costume and it had the stars and the big hat and he had the big staff. And I go, ooh, Stella, do you like his outfit? No. Ooh, look at the lady over there with the pink hair. Do you like her outfit? No.
She's a lot like her mother.
Toddler.
Yes. That was the joke. Your art is bad.
Yeah, your art is bad.
However, I decided I had to get some courage. I wore my costume, saddle up before, said toddler. Stella, do you like my outfit? And it feels like an eternity waiting for the verdict. And she goes, I do.
Nice.
There's no yes. It's I do.
All right.
Felt validated. I was so relieved. I'm like, oh my God, thank
Being
God.
validated by a toddler.
Right.
So worried. But yes, I do.
That was a lot like dealing with her mother back in the day, too.
Oh my God. Your art is bad.
Art is bad. Mel, do you need to focus on the camera and we go ahead and take a break and get ready to do the main show?
Yeah, I got to fix something went wrong. So yeah, you guys talk,
fine.
please.
Yeah, please. Like I said, we're going to do the bets.
Oh, and then I went rogue.
Oh, we're going to do the bets. She was... The whole family left. She stayed. She drank and threw back oyster shooters and stuff like that. And
So my plan was...
for somebody who didn't want to talk anymore, she sure is fucking talking a lot.
My plan was to stick around for the whole time and just, go do some oyster shooters and go rogue, have fun. I lasted an hour and a half before I called Sam. It's like, my legs are jelly and I'm starting to walk like I'm drunk. And I wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I because with the stuff,
with the
I
legs
can't.
and
I have to be
everything,
super careful, and so I was not drunk. However,
Yeah, because my plan was once the Washington Red Commander Skins football team was done kicking the shit out of the Browns, I was gonna go, and by 4:00 in the afternoon they close at 7. Yeah, they were sold out. They would have fucking let me in. Like, just be
Right.
like, hey, I'm here to pick up my wife. I want to go in and have a beer with her. Do you care? Like, they would have probably been like, yeah, fuck, who gives a shit, dude? Go in, go and grab your wife. And she had already called and was like, I'm done.
A couple beers, and I could not walk straight, and it was starting to look like I was drunk. And I was like, well, that's not good, because if you're not drunk, looking like you're drunk is just bullshit.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Yeah. The let's see here. We had a busy week last week, all things considered. We were up in Pennsylvania for Aunt Max's viewing and everything. It was very lovely to see the family, all that good shit.
Tell them what you did.
About going to the William Penn.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh fuck yeah. This is fantastic. Hey Graham, you're gonna need your attention for this
I'm listening.
one. No, this is the look at me one.
Uh-oh.
I brought Bern with me.
I think she told me you were going to do that.
I put Bern in the back seat, and I walked up. When we were there, everything, it's obviously somber, and I just kind of take Maggie to the side, my cousin. I was just like, "Hey, Maggie, just gonna let you know, Bernie's out in the car," and she just chuckles immediately, like covers her mouth and starts to chuckle. She's like, "No, you fucking didn't." I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Jesus Christ.
Later on, told Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike laughed his ass. He did a roaring laugh, which is like, "You are a lunatic." I was like, "Yeah, I knew you guys would appreciate that." And then
Bernie's in the car.
the meat sauce that I make for the 3rd of July party
What a transition that is. Yes.
is a coney sauce, and it's from a restaurant in Lebanon called the William Penn.
In that town of Pennsylvania.
In Lebanon,
I gotcha.
Pennsylvania, yes.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Max got the recipe from them. My mom stole the recipe
From your Aunt Max.
from my Aunt Max, and my mom didn't talk for 2 years because of it. And
Quality.
when my mom did the cookbook for me, for my it was like 2 Christmases, like second to last Christmas or third to last Christmas, she did that for me. And that was the first recipe in the book. And I, of course, told Max. Max is like, "Oh, I don't care. That's fine. It's great. Yada, yada, yada." But we went to that restaurant and had a hot dog. And,
Nice.
In my mom and Max's honor. And, yeah. It's
Did you bring Bernie into the...
No, Bernie was out in the car.
You didn't bring her into the restaurant?
Didn't bring Bernie in. But yeah, the guy who owns it now, I told him, I said, from my childhood, I said there was a little old lady who used to, build the hot dogs up her arm. And he goes, "That was my great aunt." It was like, she lived till 96. She worked until she was like 94.
Right.
I was like, fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, he took it over from the family, and yeah, nothing had changed. The interior had changed a little, but it was still just kind of the same place, and it was fucking fantastic.
Nice.
Absolutely loved it. So it was
That's
very
good.
cool
They
to-
would have been proud that you did that.
Yeah. No.
I would have enjoyed that.
Mel, you want to go ahead and end sound check, and then we'll get the main show
I
started?
will say Bernie would have wanted to go in, though.
Oh, yeah, she probably would have, but you know what? She can learn to live with disappointment.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me a good ending for that story.
That's what I was trying to do.
Export audio.
All right. Mr. Graham, do you need a beer? Mel, do you want me to go get you a glass? Do you want a glass for your beer?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I will be right back.
Sam made a pitch to my siblings to name the baby after his late father. They politely declined.
They politely declined.
Who is Bernie? Bernie is Sam's late mother that died 6 years ago.
Bernadette.
Bernadine.
Bernadine, you're right.
Going chicken wing, a turkey leg, a slider, Mel's perf, Haas Eaton's pork chop, an old meat, yeah. Validated by a toddler. Yes, that is what the Sams seek with their listeners. Hope you cracked a window and left the radio on for her.
That's funny. That's pretty fucking good, that. Somebody said, who was it? Who said that?
Taylor.
Taylor said that they hope you left the radio on and cracked a window for Bernie while y'all were in the restaurant. That's pretty fucking good. We give this lady a lot of airtime.
Who,
She
Bernie?
got 2 beers. She got 2 beers from her, so that's the...
Who, me? Oh, Karen. We like Karen. Just kidding.
I'm just joking. We've done like 4 of her shit though. We did a lot at the 3rd of July.
When she gives me
talking.
shit, I only drink professionally. That's true. I only drink on this show, on my other show, and doing tours.
And Renfest Rogue.
And Renfest Rogue. Although, to be truthfully, it was mostly vape pen on Renfest Rogue. Because I found all the smoking sections where I could watch shows, too.
Okay. Yeah, so...
This is just ginger beer.
Okay.
Hard ginger beer.
So Caden and new Peterson baby will both get the blue kit because the newborn always gets.
Which, by the way, Sewing
their first.
Circle,
Yes.
my sister is in the hospital right now. We could have a baby live during the DU football show, and we don't know if it's a boy or girl yet.
That's your cup.
It's your sample there, Captain.
So whenever the baby's newborn, it's the blue kit. They get the home kit when they're born. So Caden and new baby will get it. James, I think I'm going to do the black kit for. Stella, I think I'm going to do the white kit for. And Abby is getting a green Pickford jersey.
Nice.
Oh, that's what she'll get.
It'll be good when the new owners come in and Pickford sold in January to balance the books.
It'll be fine. It's she's still getting a green Pickford jersey.
goalie's name
I don't know.
out your mouth.
I don't know. Maybe she'll get the fuchsia one. Maybe I'll do the pink one for her instead.
She
I'm
does
not
love
sure.
pink like her Aunt Mel.
So but it'll definitely be the keeper kit. That's
Right,
what she
right.
will
Yeah,
definitely get. All right, we ready to do a show, kids?
Preppered.
I don't like this one.
This is Whiskey Dix, and you're listening to the DU Football Show. Football!
Feel like sometimes we just need whiskey dick in our life.
Yeah. I could have used that a fair few months ago.
I'm gonna say high energy over here. You are just
The Avery was up. She couldn't take a shit
okay.
yesterday.
That's
So we were up all night.
Just putting her shit out there.
I'm a bit tired.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, he's not compacted, but his child surely is, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing there, stud?
Tired. She was up at 1:45, 4 a.m., and then again at 5:30. I fell asleep on the couch after poker before the Dallas-Pittsburgh game ended.
Right.
Because that was delayed with all the weather shit.
Right, of course.
And woke up about 2:45, 3 o'clock, went upstairs, made Tegan's lunch, got a little snack for myself, and I was just laying down on the living room couch to go to sleep because I didn't want to disturb my wife. And right as I lay my head down, monitor starts going off. So you got to be fucking kidding me. So I found out this morning that Carly had already been up with her once.
Right.
So I did the 4 a.m. one. Went up, tried to console her, didn't work. Came back down, made a bottle, went back up. And then when I lay her down, I always scratch her back. Started her shoulders and worked my way down to her lower back. That's why I felt her. She was straining. I think she was either trying to get a fart out or a shit out. And come to find out, she didn't have a very good poop on Sunday at all. And this morning, though, fucking unloaded, man. And she had 3 big ones today. Went to sleep within 3 minutes of me trying to put her down tonight. It was excellent.
Oh, good. Well, you now have 0 sleep because of it.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I was yawning all day. I mean, I was in the middle of sales pitches, like, I just made myself yawn. Fuck, trying to sell stuff and couldn't even keep my eyes open.
And on the ones and twos, Producer Mel. Producer Mel, how the hell are you?
For fuck's sake, Graham. You know what that sound is right there?
What's that?
People hitting the skip button.
They enjoy hearing about my life, I think.
We're recorded at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Sure, it's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good.
Or if you're lucky enough to have our phone numbers, you can just text us like someone else did today.
Yeah, well, you know, that does
But
happen.
most of you don't.
And
that's for good reason.
Just how it works.
Yeah.
Just how it works. Everybody should have Sam Graham's cell phone
No, they
number.
shouldn't.
24. Just kidding.
Please, relax.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, it is not every day you get to drink some B-Tech.
Yep.
And today we are, let me hold it up for the camera real quick because I'm sure you're going to want to read some of the label and all that good stuff. But we are drinking a humdinger. When you talk about unicorn bottles, this is right on the fucking list.
Unicorn alert. Unicorn alert.
Absolutely. What are we drinking tonight, good sir?
So this is the George T. Stagg. This is last year's edition, the 2023 edition. 135 proof on this one. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is, as you said, one of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, so one of the BTAC bottles. We did the Handy last year, Thomas Handy rye. And then this year, one of my stores still had it sitting on the shelf because he had it priced way too high. I was in possession of something valuable and offered that to him, which was about 3 times the wholesale cost of this anyway, and then gave him an extra $100, and he was willing to part with it.
Well, he hadn't moved it yet because he was too expensive.
Yes. So that's where we're at here. Do you want me to just read the back label here because it's an interesting story?
Yeah,
or
go ahead, yeah. Because, I mean, we don't get to have these every day.
You don't
And I
get
know
them.
it's a pretty wordy label, but I would still say go ahead and read it.
Yeah, it's 3 paragraphs. It's not terrible. The period from 1865 to 1890 was known as the Gilded Age of Bourbon. Industry and innovation combined to produce stunning advances in quality and production. During this period, 2 noted distillers, E.H. Taylor Jr. and George T. Stagg, partnered to build one of the world's premier distilleries that would survive through the economic cycles of boom and bust and through floods, fires, and droughts. On the banks of the Kentucky River, Taylor built the grandest distillery the world had yet seen, utilizing state-of-the-art technology that was clearly the first and only one of its kind. Stagg supplied the financial acumen and knowledge of fine whiskeys that helped build the company into one of the world's leading whiskey producers. As a bourbon expert proclaimed in 1890, the distillery is ne plus ultra of its class, the best of its class. The George T. Stagg Distillery continued in operation up to and through Prohibition, one of only 4 such distilleries to remain open during that period, and the only one to survive to the present day.
Well, there's people with medicinal license for fear of grass. They needed to be able to get their whiskey.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And the largest legal size during that period was 375s. Yeah.
I need whiskey.
100%. 100%. Gin, too. But now known as the Buffalo Trace Distillery, our master distillers are aging warehouse managers and aging warehouse managers, have combined their extensive whiskey making experience to present this magnificent aged bourbon that George T. Stagg himself would have been proud to call his own. Uncut and unfiltered, and of an age and quality that only more than 2 centuries of experience can bring, Buffalo Trace Distillery offers this bourbon as a testament to quality, tradition, and innovation, and to the struggle to persevere and prosper where most others have failed, which is what George T. Stagg and his namesake bourbon are all about. We can think of no better tribute.
It's fucking stellar.
It's amazing.
It's I get a lot of cocoa.
Yeah, I had a little nip last night. It's fucking amazing. I couldn't resist any longer.
So
I had to try it.
I've had the handy, and
Like I said, 135 proof on this one. It's a big boy.
she don't drink like a $1.35 though.
No.
It drinks very. I mean, it definitely has heat to it, but it drinks very soft. I've talked about this before with higher proof bourbons that can get very grippy on the back of the throat. Booker's comes to mind. Some of them are fantastic. Others are very fucking grippy.
I get a lot of that cocoa nib on the nose, and almost a little nuttiness even.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I give you that. Little hazelnut, little walnut. Yep. Definitely some of that. But it so I've had the LaRue, the William LaRue, which is fucking stellar. So fucking amazing. Got to have that with Mike Rice for his wedding, and fortunate enough that not many of the people there were really bourbon drinkers, so his father-in-law got a couple of glasses, and Rice and I, that bottle wasn't going home with him. So Rice and I killed that bottle. I was smoking a Cuban, sitting in a pool in Puerto Rico, drinking one of the hardest bourbons in the world to get. It was pretty fucking good.
It's pretty baller.
Yeah, pretty fucking good. This is my first time though having the Stag.
Mine as well. Besides last night,
I've had the Stag Junior a bunch, the shorter bottle, but I've never had this one.
Same.
It's fucking
It's
phenomenal.
exceptional.
It's phenomenal.
It's exceptional. Did I say something funny?
No, I started to
Well,
cough.
fucking show some respect.
No, I was coughing. Remember, I cough a ton.
It's just absolutely delicious. I get a bit of butterscotch up front, almost a little bit of ripe banana maybe over the mid palate, and then you get the very traditional coffee and vanilla, or not coffee, caramel and vanilla to kind of finish out, and then I get a little bit of that chocolate on the finish. After that coffee and vanilla, why do I keep saying coffee? Caramel and vanilla kind of fleet. Finishes with a bit of that chocolate, a little bit of that nuttiness, and it's just delicious, and it lingers for a few minutes. But you're right, it doesn't drink like a $1.35. I'd say it probably drinks more like 110.
Yeah, $1.15 was what I was going to say. Definitely not a $1.35.
It is fucking good. I would like to see. I had it neat last night. I would like to see what just a drop little or two of water does to it.
That'll open it up at all. Yeah, not bad. And now you've got 2 of them. So it's those 2.
There's 5
LaRue.
total.
There's a Sazerac, right?
Excuse me, a Sazerac 18.
And then an
Eagle Rare 17.
Right, those are the 5.
Those are the 5 B-Tech. Yep.
And then there's all the Colonel Taylor stuff, and then, of course, the Pappy stuff, which is its own run.
Its own run, yep. E.H. Taylor has its own run. There's a couple of barrel proofs of those. I've got a small batch and a single barrel small batch at my house. I'm still trying to find a junior. And then
Stag
there's
Junior?
like
Well,
I have a Stag
I was gonna
Junior.
say
I'm talking
we
about
had the
E.H.
Stag
Taylor
Junior on the
small
show.
batch. E.H. Taylor has a junior also.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you and I had the Stag Junior on this show. That was one you got from Ben with Mount Airy, I believe. Yeah.
And then there's they've got a few different ones like Warehouse C. They've got a few. I've got a Weller Full Proof at home. That was a single barrel that somebody won actually and put through all views. So I actually got to make money on it for not doing a goddamn thing, which is pretty cool. and then got to buy a bottle and donate to a great charity as a result, which was pretty great for that. Yeah, it's we're very fortunate to do what we do and know who we know and build the relationships that we've built and been able to access some of the finer things in life as a result of it.
Now, here's the fun part. Talk about what it should be on the shelf.
It should run, given that it only comes out once a year, you can always, and there's a limited amount of it, you can always charge a little extra, right? So from wholesale costs, what I would say fair price would probably be $300.
Right. You normally see it for about $5 or higher.
No, $8.
Yeah.
$8 to $1,000.
And then
LaRue would be about $1,200 that you see on the secondary. And most retailers, kind of like what your old boss did, was like, why am I allowing other people to make more money on my whiskey than me?
Right.
So they jacked the price up.
Right.
You know, and so the retailers, in this instance, the supplier didn't do it, and we didn't do it. The retail does it.
Well, the retail knows somebody's going to buy it and then try to
flip it. Exactly right. So
why sell it to them for $500 and then watch them take it and sell it for $1,200?
Exactly.
And make $700 off of
when you only made 4 and change,
right?
So, or 3 and change rather.
Right.
So so they put it on their shelves like it was on this particular retailer shelf, and I'm not going to give that person away. It was on their shelf for $1,000.
Right.
And I said, you're sitting on 2 of them, and you've been sitting on them for a year. About the new stuff comes out, first, second week of December.
Yeah.
So how about we make that go away and you try your hand at selling something else that retails for $500 that you can get again? Right. And the guy agreed. Said, cool. So
considering he had 2 bottles, so he still had the other one.
He still had the other one to sell. And he still made 4.5 times his money.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what else?
When all said and done.
So what else should we always do, Mr. Graham?
Always, even though it's difficult with something that's 137 proof or 135 proof rather, I'll always try to drink responsibly.
Very good. Let's get into the action.
That's so fucking good.
Sometimes, Graham, you just have to open the show with goals and batshit crazy games.
Yeah.
Brentford 5, Wolverhampton 3, West Ham 1,
Brentford scored.
West Ham 4, Ipswich 1.
Wolves scored.
Yeah, exactly.
But Brentford scored again.
Yeah, Brentford scored again. again. Now for the 4th game in a row, I'm sorry, it took them 2 minutes this time. Brentford scored immediately. Fucking immediately.
Yeah. It's like Wolves were training all week to see out that first minute. They just forgot there was 89 more to go.
Yeah, because in the second minute, they fucking scored.
Yeah, guys, we did it.
But give them credit. Within 4 minutes, that game was 1-1.
Yeah, inside the first 28 minutes, it was 5 goals total.
Yes,
between the 2 teams.
Fucking insanity.
It was
absolute insanity.
Did the defensive coaches for both teams, were they just on vacation this week and nobody trained anyone up? What
not that
happened here? I mean, Wolves are sitting bottom of the table with 1 point on a very bad goal differential.
Oh, yeah.
Was Max Kilman really that important?
I can't imagine he was that important.
Is Sam Johnston that much better than Jose Sa? Is Jose Sa still around or to go to Saudi?
No, he's still there, but it's Johnston that's playing right now.
Why?
Yeah.
I reckon that's a problem.
For me, and I've watched him now play entirety twice, they don't seem to have the gumption that they had last year. Like last year they were supposed to be this shitty last year, not this year, right? And they improved, they lost Neto, but they grew, they got good pieces. The team looked good. You would have thought they'd be okay under Gary O'Neill. And it was like, was it last year because it was the fuck you mentality because they had, the Lopetegui leaving them right before the season started, not knowing who the coach was going to be? Was it all of that just gave them the gumption to go out and play better? But this team just doesn't look disciplined.
No, they don't at all. Like I said, Max Kilman's a good, honest pro. He's a good player. Great. I don't think he's that important, honestly, like to be this consequential.
Right.
I don't know. Neto
He's
did
not Virgil van Dijk, for fuck's sake.
Neto did stretch games, I guess you could say, but Cunha does that. Mm-hmm. So it's like now, last season Neto was hurt a lot, and Cunha still did it kind of on his own, and Cunha actually missed some time. And Wolves didn't do their massive slump mid-season like they typically had.
And they also got
since Nuno left
a point guy, which has taken a little bit of the pressure off of Cunha. This is not a.
Scored a great goal, by the way.
Yeah.
You're number one.
Yeah. It's not that they aren't good offensively. They are, and they have options like Wang isn't even playing a lot right now, right? And he's a damn good player. It seems like the defense is at 6s and 7s, and the midfield knows how to progress the ball forward, but they don't know how to stop or cover anybody because it seems to be such cheap, lazy goals they tend to give up.
But all of the goals in this game I thought were excellent. Nico Collins' header was brilliant. Cunha had a great finish, and Bueno scored a phenomenal penalty kick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we always have to put pen in someone's name who takes penalties.
The pen into
Penaldo.
Yeah,
that's
Pendro.
True. And Bueno, I like that. And then your boy Larson. What a flick!
Penner, Pen Mole. Fuck that one all up.
Yeah, it's not great. Sometimes just let the joke go, Sam.
Yeah, I know.
Larson, your boy Larson, Strand Larson, with a phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Is it Stand Larson or Strand Larson?
Stand Larson.
Is it? Yeah. I thought it was Strand Larson.
Stand Larson.
Did she really get you a knockoff?
He might be. Who knows? We'll find out.
With a phenomenal flick. I mean, stealing in front of was it play for West Ham? Fucked up hair. Why can't I remember his name? Defender.
I'm blanking. Keep it rolling.
It doesn't matter.
Hung up on details.
Anyway, to steal in front of that and get a flick to the far corner, running away from the far corner with the outside of your right foot. Mm-hmm. I mean, amazing. Absolutely amazing goal. Norgard had a decent goal, and then Pinnock with a header.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild. At one point in the second half, right as this kind of early stage of the second half, there was some back and forth. End-to-end stuff again. Now, that was the longest stretch with no goals in this game. It was about 40-odd minutes.
I was going to say halftime, it was already 4-2.
Right, exactly. And then no one scored again until the 89th minute.
Right.
But there was one point, there was a great save at one end, and within, 6 touches, it was down the other end in the opposition box. And the commentator just says, and I rewound it to quote him properly, quote, "Discipline seems to have gone out the window in this game," end quote. Like, really? You didn't catch that in the first 45?
Really?
It's absolutely insane.
Something to be said for Brentford, missing Wisa, and we were like, is it all going to fall on Mbeumo? The fact that it was 5 different goal scorers, and they held on.
Right.
Even after giving up the lead, when they got it back, they never gave it away again.
Yes.
They held on to it the rest of the time. That is,
which the last 3 games, after those minute, scoring, taking the lead, they've given it away each time. They did not win any of those 3 games.
Exactly. So
that is a huge deal.
Big for them. Now, as we had already mentioned,
there could have been 3 or 4 more goals in this game as well.
So Wolves, like you said, their goals against right now, because remember, we made a big deal about how bad Everton started. They're at 21 goals against in 7 games in, man. They're giving away 3 goals a game.
Yeah.
You ain't staying up if you keep doing that. You got to pitch some fucking shutouts.
I mean, that's my thing. Is right. The only 2 things that really happen: you drop Jose Sa for Johnston, and then you sell Max Kilman. Those are the only 2 things that have really changed. I wouldn't put Max Kilman in my top 15 defenders in the country.
No,
not by a long shot. Probably not even top 20.
Yeah.
So how was he the glue that held this together? It seems like it's just. And is Jose Sa that much better of a goalkeeper than Johnston? I mean, I think he might be a better shot stopper. I think Johnston may be a better all around goalkeeper. But I mean, those 2 changes, and you go from a decent little defensive unit to just shipping goals for fun. I just don't understand it, and I wonder if Gag O'Neill's got something to answer for here.
That was exactly what I was about to ask. Is are we concerned for Gary O'Neill already?
Yeah, I would be.
Because
I absolutely would be.
It doesn't get any easier if they come back from the international break. It's fucking City.
Yeah, it's not good.
It does not get any easier.
Nope. Make sure you check out the TikTok at DU Football Show, of course, where we'll be placing our bets when we get back. And I say that because guess who's going to pick City? Over 2.5. Fucking this guy.
Yeah, no shit. In a match where both teams needed to win, only the Irons showed up.
I mean, that being said, Areola had to make a couple of really good saves in this game also.
Yeah, but it felt like once they got to 3-1, it was done and dusted. It was, I mean, yes, Delap gets another goal. That's good. But you also, great, Delap gets a goal, but the Tractor Boys fuck up from the back again. Well,
it was Calvin Phillips fucking up exactly in the position he fucked up in his first game for West Ham last season. It seems like he was bit by the Olympic Stadium bug again and just shit the bed after a couple of fairly solid performances in the Ipswich midfield so far this season.
Murick made another mistake as well.
You got him onto this field and he just lost his head.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips. It just was not good. West Ham absolutely overran them in midfield, as you say. And Muric, I mean, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, again. Like he made the one really horrible gaffe for Burnley last year, but he came in because Trafford was making so many mistakes.
Correct.
And other than that one gaffe, unfortunately, that one gaffe is ultimately
was a big one. Yeah.
And it's ultimately what put him down. He's had seemed to be doing well, and then he did well in the Euros also. And it's like, you're making some bad mistakes with this team, but is it also them playing out of the back, being so stubborn about trying to start plays from the back? We were talking about this last week.
They're not as stubborn as Southampton are.
Yeah.
Some that we'll come on to when we cover Arsenal Southampton. Some of the decisions they were making on the edge of the box is just like, just hoof it. Yeah. I almost felt bad for them at one stage. They were giving the ball away so cheaply. And this is where, so Smokey and I get into it a lot because I was a strong proponent of David Moyes, especially in the position West Ham were in. And the last time they fired David Moyes to play better football, went right down.
Right.
And they have not started this season very well. I do not necessarily believe in Lopetegui. I think the manner in which he left Spain before the World Cup was really fucking weird. The manner in which he got fired from Real Madrid after 5 or 6 games was really fucking weird.
The manner in which he left fucking Wolverhampton was really fucking weird.
I don't know that that's what that club needs, especially with that ownership who are already kind of unpredictable anyway in the Dildo brothers. So I'm not so sure that this is a great fit, and this result I think will paper over the cracks because I think it was more to do with Ipswich being poor than it was with West Ham being good.
That is exactly the question I was going to finish on was, is this West Ham getting it together, or is this that Ipswich was that poor?
I mean, you have to take your chances. You only play what's in front of you, but I don't think Lopetegui drastically changed the tactics to make them world beaters all of a sudden.
Right.
No, I don't. I think if they played that same way, if they walked into even Goodison Park and tried to play that way, I think you all probably would have nicked a 2-1 win.
I'll talk about it a little bit more when we do injury time later, because when they come back from the international break, it is Everton going to Ipswich, right? They're desperate. They need to get a win. And you go, okay, well, here's Everton, didn't start the season that great, yada, yada, yada. But you're going to be a team that tries to play the ball out of the back. Everton love to pounce on mistakes. And you're also a team that loves to counterattack. Everton's going to let you have possession.
Right.
They're going to
completely neutralize your counterattack.
So, yes, Everton loves to lose to newly promoted clubs. And they also love to let newly promoted clubs who haven't gotten a Premier League win get a Premier League.
Did that twice last season.
Yeah.
They
love to do that.
The only saving grace Ipswich has in that game, in my opinion, because y'all seem to have sorted yourselves out to an extent, is, of course, this is one for injury time.
Yeah.
But is that they're at home.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to have to, if they have any fighting chance of staying in this league at all, their home form is going to have to be what gets them through. Because if they're going to go away to places and do this, like they had that great moment against City where they took the lead, and literally within 4 minutes we're down 3-1 or whatever it was.
Exactly.
So you have to say that home form is the only chance they have. And if they're going to do it, they need to try to be a touch more pragmatic to get those points, or else they're going to just be another Luton.
Yeah. Do we think that their first game back from the international break is must win?
Not yet, because Wolves and Southampton are so bad. But we're going to quickly run into a situation where it's 3 teams fighting for one spot again.
Frankly, this weekend really didn't have very many great storylines. The games, it was the 7th week of the season in the Premier League.
With an international break looming.
Right. So fuck it. We're talking about our clubs. Arsenal 3, Southampton 1, Everton 0, Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0.
At least we tried to entertain people. Jesus Christ, the fuck is wrong with you two?
We had our one entertaining moment, and that is all we fucking needed, baby. Because if ever there was something Everton would Everton that was it, and we didn't. So I was very happy. Saints get an early lead in the second half, but ultimately the Gunners were just too good, and the style of play Southampton wants to do, you don't want to do that against fucking Arsenal. Arsenal's going to make you pay.
We didn't have a shot on target in the first half, which was surprising for the 78% possession or whatever it was that we mustered. But one of their forwards goes off injured. They bring on Cameron Archer. Once he got the speed of the game, you kind of felt like, because he is quick, Cameron Archer. I think he actually scored against us for Sheffield United last season.
Yeah.
But you kind of always felt something was going to happen. And Southampton, a couple of times, have been a bit of a bogey team. I remember.
They've been a thorn in your side many a time.
Now, they won through, I think it was Welbeck and Ozil the last time I was in London for a game with my wife. So the last time I was there was with you against West Ham, the most boring football match I've ever watched.
It was. It's all the note when Pablo Mari is the fucking highlight of the game.
It was fucking terrible. But I think it was, I know Welbeck scored the equalizer, but Shane Long put Southampton ahead early in the second half in that game. Arsenal only came out of it 2-1 winners. But they've caused us a draw. I remember a 3-3 at St. Mary's a couple seasons ago.
One that you had to draw late too.
Yeah, so they've been a bit of a thorn in our side. Of course, you have the Ramsdale situation going on, which that was absolutely beautiful from the Arsenal supporters, and you saw what it meant to him. Then some video surfaced from the tunnel, and all the players going up hugging him and everything else. And when you give your all for a team, and I wrote it in the Facebook group this weekend, but when you give your all for a team. And you honestly, and you say outright, I want to play. I'm in a position. I got the England taste. I just want to play. I need to play.
Yeah.
People get it, and he was done kind of dirty. And I think it's the one mistake Mikel Arteta has made during his tenure, where he didn't just come out and say. And I said this at the time. Just if Raya's gonna be your guy, just fucking say that.
Right.
Don't say I don't mind substituting goalkeepers. And given this false sense of,
and then not play,
and
the
then
other
not play him
guy.
at
not
all.
Play the other guy, not in cup games, not in nothing.
No, he played him in. He played him in the League Cup, which we were out of quickly.
Not the FA Cup,
not in the FA Cup. And then he obviously didn't play him in Europe except for one time against a very, very small team. And then the only 2 Premier League appearances he made were when against Brentford, because David Raya was against his parent club because the permanent transfer hadn't been completed. He was still on loan, so he couldn't face Brentford. But despite that, and that summer that Raya arrived, his missus had a miscarriage. He's very open about that. His brother is gay, and I'm pretty sure he's gay, not special needs. I think he's gay. Had a lot of kind of hate and abuse hurled his way about the football. Attending games and doing stuff. Would hear things, and he wrote that open letter, despite what he was going through with his wife. And then his dad was going around chirping off on every goddamn podcast that would listen, saying Mikel Arteta's a fucking idiot. He needs to show some respect to my son and be more communicative about what's going on and is realistic about his chances and stuff. And Ramsdale just kept his head down, and when he was asked to, he fucking worked hard and did it. He came in and he gave his all for the shirt. And then he just said, listen, guys, I really want to play. And he was only here for a couple of seasons. But he wrote this very beautiful goodbye. And they serenaded him as the players walked out, and he was visibly brought to tears.
Yeah.
And it was just a lovely moment, you know. And there's always a saying: is once a gunner, always a gunner, and unless you're Emmanuel Adebayor, and then you can fuck off.
All right, get to the goals because I know you're going to want to talk about the goals for Arsenal.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I wasn't ready yet. Cameron Archer fucked us, like I said, but Kai equalized. And then we made the triple substitution. So right after Cameron Archer's goal, I tagged Kenny, and it was just like, fuck off.
Right.
Because they always tend to screw with us. Kai equalized, and I said, okay. And then the triple subs came, and I was supremely confident. I said, this is in the bag. It's no problem. All capped off by Saka, obviously, with a brilliant assist to Martinelli. Just barely onside, but onside nonetheless. And then scoring himself was excellent. Just continuing his run, ball kind of fell to him. Took it first time, took it early, and Ramsdale was not unsighted, but kind of off balance because he did take the chance so early with his right foot also, which he doesn't score with very often.
Yeah, we'll mention this when we get into Oso as well. All three of the top three sides went ahead and got victories. None of them particularly pretty. They were all effective. They got W's, but this was probably the prettiest of the three.
And I don't even know about that because we went behind. It wasn't great. I mean, City went behind as well, but the Liverpool, I think they were the most comfortable, but it was an ugly game to watch.
Yeah,
you know.
Now talking about people and their returns to parks, Ramsdale got a lovely.
Someone did not.
Anthony Gordon, not so much. Now, I mean, it's interesting because there's two sides to it, right? He left unceremoniously. He did demand to be sold, but he was also demanded to be sold right after his car was stopped in the street by a bunch of supporters who screamed at him. You know, so you can understand why he would want to be sold.
But also
on.
after he almost single-handedly kept you in the division.
Right.
As well.
But now we've reached the point. He's played as many matches for Newcastle as he has for Everton. Yep. So that's kind of been a transition on. But let's face it, like you knew, that he wasn't going to be received warmly. Let's say that, you know. And
with the Scouts, famously hospitable people.
So fucking lovely, lovely people. And of course, when you know it,
they make fun of people for wearing white socks.
Yeah, there was a penalty.
Scouts.
Yeah, there was a penalty, and it was dead on a penalty. It's funny.
I think it was as well.
They called it in the Brentford match. They called it in the Everton match. So this was the weekend they decided they were going to call, corner kicks and free kicks in the box for defenders grabbing. We've made this reference before. It's like American football with holding. It's done on every play. It's just do the officials feel like calling it? And so I think the officials will go back to ignoring it again, as always, like they normally do.
I think Tark, though, this one was particularly bad. He body slammed the dude.
He pulled him. I mean, I'm not debating it. It was absolutely dead on a pen. It's just, it's very easy and secure to do it in Everton, Newcastle. I'd like to see you do that in Liverpool, Arsenal. And you won't.
You know what I think?
You won't blow the whistle.
The first thing that crossed my mind, especially because it was Tarkovsky. I mean, the announcers were talking about it was like he's not even playing football; they're just playing rugby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was absolutely.
Is the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's holding the beer and the cigarette and he's leaning up from the rocket chair pointing is JB.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just imagine JB's face on that because he fucking hates Tarkovsky.
Oh, he hates Tarkovsky. And there you go. Here it is. Anthony Gordon holding the ball, getting ready to come up to take the penalty kick. And like I said, in the most Everton that way ever, this is exactly what should happen, right? Gordon scores the penalty right in front of the Gladys Street, runs up in front of him, kisses the Newcastle badge. Like, that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Only one problem. Somebody got the rave on. And you know what? He didn't even have to use his tiny little arms. He saved it with his knees because it was that shitty of a fucking pen.
He did not hit it with
that shitty of a pen.
He did not hit it with much conviction at all.
And you don't normally see keepers talk too much shit, but he stood up, turned around, looked at the Gladys Street end, and just started pointing at his head going, I knew exactly where he was going. And then
Big
turned
time.
right around, looked
Yeah.
at Gordon, and pointed right at his head. Like, I knew exactly where you were fucking going. And honestly, that's about what this game deserved, because despite having a ton of possession, Gordon had 2 more chances that he probably should have been better on,
Yes,
but
he should have.
Newcastle didn't really have much impetus to score other than
No.
those couple of opportunities. And
I mean, the first thing I wrote in my notes here was fucking boring game.
it was a dog shit
It was
match.
fucking boring game.
Absolutely.
And then the only other real thing, I mean, you had the least sentences here, was what was Tarkovsky doing? A bonehead play knowing there's cameras all over. And then this game flattered to open up, but it never did. Both teams eventually just became happy with the draw, I think.
Yeah. Well, especially for Everton, just get a draw in your building before the international break. You've now gotten results on
Exactly.
your last 3. Just don't worry about
Exactly.
it. And
That's just it again. Was this here for the taking? Probably. But again, it's like the last couple of seasons I told you. Points on the board, especially at this early stage, points on the board is all that matters.
right.
Right? And
No.
the last 3 games, you've been getting points on the board. I mean, it's 6 or 5 points from 3 games. I mean, that's fucking huge.
Yeah. Now, here's my final question on this game would be for Anthony Gordon playing the point man up top. Do you think that while they're missing Isaac and Callum Wilson, that he's a good option, or do you just and you think that maybe this game was just the environment? This game got to him because it was Goodison.
I'm surprised they replaced Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of harsh on Barnes to put him through the middle, to be honest.
Well, it was Gordon who they had through the middle.
At the beginning,
Yeah.
but they switched that to allow Gordon to run at your outside backs,
Yeah.
because he stretches the play a bit more than Harvey Barnes does, and Harvey Barnes drifted out of the game because he is not suited to playing inside at all. He needs to have his back to the touchline, and I thought they should have brought Gordon off, to be honest with you, and tried something different, because Harvey Barnes I thought was a bit brighter in the first half, but they'll get by, as they always seem to do. I want to know where that young kid was, that long-legged young kid that came on last season that we haven't heard from since. The 18-year-old or 17, Liley,
Oh, yeah.
the tall center midfielder,
Yeah, I
when
don't
everybody
know.
was hurt. Why aren't you putting Joe Linton back as a point man for a couple of games through the middle up front?
He knows how to do it.
And bringing that kid into the middle to
knows
shore
how
up
to
the
do it.
midfield and to play his position.
I think
I just find it a bit strange. I think they're lacking until they get somebody back for sure.
This will tell you everything you need to know about Everton versus Newcastle. In their time playing against each other, they are 80 wins apiece. The rest are all draws. And their aggregate goals for each of them, 80. It's kind of fitting. It was just a 0-0, like
Right.
a dead even fucking match.
Yeah.
It feels exactly right. Speaking of other dog shit matches, you know what? Villa had a massive fucking midweek.
Oh, big time.
Villa in the Champions League. They went to Switzerland to beat Young Boys a few weeks back, but
Which one? That was solely. It took them long to get through that because I think they were taking their time getting used to that field.
Yeah.
But once they caught the bounces and figured out how that ball was going to play off that artificial turf,
Right.
they absolutely fucking dominated that game.
But the more important one is the first midweek Champions League game under the lights at Villa Park, and they beat Bayern Munich 1-0.
Yeah. Harry Kane didn't even have a shot on target.
I
I don't think he even had a shot.
I put a lot of Villa because also there was definitely some subs and changes to the lineup, and Konza goes out early on an injury. I feel like the boys were still thinking about the middle of the week.
Oh,
And
100%.
even the crowd was still thinking about the middle of the week, and you could tell. Fortunately, they were playing a team that was desperate to just not lose and never really actually showed any impetus from Man United.
Well, here's the difference. Villa were the better team by far.
Yeah.
But you got the sense that they just couldn't find the rhythm. They just couldn't get going. Where Manchester United, I didn't even have the expectation that they'd get going.
Right. You didn't think
And
anything
that's
was ever going to happen.
where these two clubs are right now. I saw a very damning stat today about Ten Hag this season in particular. If there were 0 goals against for Manchester United, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything else happens the exact same, but they don't concede a goal. They're in 8th still.
Wow.
Right? If you take away all of the goals that the opposition scored, they're still in 8th place, a point above Fulham.
Yeah, they're
And that's
not.
it.
They're not like first place, which is what you would be if
Expect,
you were. Yeah, if you hadn't given up a goal.
Right, because they don't score enough, right? There'd be a lot of 0-0s in there if that were the case, right? But they're just floundering, man. It's bad. I think Villa will come away from this disappointed that they couldn't pounce on that and solidify their spot and kind of catch back up to Chelsea a bit. You know, who's flying high in 4th
Right.
all of a sudden.
Right.
Maresca's kind of figured them out a bit, but. 0-0 at home against United, traditionally, just that sentence alone isn't a bad result.
Right.
And you're going to have these days out sometimes. You look over the past couple of weeks, the more concern would be like, I think they'd be happier with the draw if everybody came through fit.
Right. Cons are getting hurt.
That's not a great thing. But Diego Carlos came on and was excellent, I thought. He was fantastic.
Here's one for you is Ten Hag, because they had such a miserable game against Porto in the midweek in they're the McRib, right? Yeah, no.
Bro, no, they're in the Europa League.
because they
But
won FA.
they gave up a 2-0 lead.
Yeah. Now, and also how
And then had to rescue. It's so funny.
But he goes to Johnny Evans and Maguire, and then Maguire gets hurt, and then he's got to put De Ligt on, who just like kind of gave up the 3 goals, and was responsible for some of it in the midweek.
Yeah.
It's like,
But Harry Maguire was the one that came on and rescued the point for United.
Right.
Slab at himself with a big header.
I would like to say, how the fuck does this happen? Bruno Fernandes gets a red card in the week before. Now that gets rescinded to a yellow, right? And so he got to play this one. Then gets a red card in fucking Europa.
In the Europa League.
Somehow in back-to-back games gets red cards, starts the match.
Yeah, well, so the I don't think the red last weekend was a red. I think we both agreed on that last show.
But we also both agree he is such a cunt. He just deserves it on general principle.
Oh, 100%. So the big thing, you can contest those decisions. The gamble there is if the FA see it as a frivolous appeal, they can suspend him for a further game. Right?
Right.
So sometimes you don't take a chance doing that. Of challenging those cards being handed out. But that one, it was not a frivolous appeal. That was not a red card by any means.
Right, of course.
And it was rightly rescinded, and he was allowed to play the game because if there's no red card, there's then no suspension. But it wasn't good. It was not a good day at the office for United at all. And
How much longer does Ten Hag have?
until somebody else loses their job, I think.
Yeah.
As soon as a top-level elite manager loses their job. So if anyone in either Madrid club, if whoever's at Barcelona right now, if Zidane decides that, okay, maybe I will speak English for a few years, if Allegri gets out at Juventus, if any of those, if Luis Enrique loses his job at PSG, I think Ten Hag he'll see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, his position is nearing untenable.
In the most, I guess, Manchester United thing ever, you did see the news that apparently Paul Pogba's going to be on a free. There's talk of bringing his ass back. Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Liverpool 1, Palace 0, Man City 3, Fulham 2, Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 1, Forest 1, Brighton 3, Tottenham 2. Jota scores, but Jota also missed 2 fucking sitters. This game should have been put to bed early, and then it wasn't. And Palace had a fucking chance in the second half.
Oh, yeah, big time. Allison made a great save before he went off injured. And then I think there Kelleher hurt as well. Didn't their third choice goalkeeper had to
third
play.
choice who came on.
He actually made a save or two as well. That was decent. So this game definitely could have turned out differently. It was not a great advert for the Premier League, though. Liverpool pretty much dominated everything and did nothing with the possession, and it was all pretty boring. It was a 1-0 professional win. Let's just get the job done, and we can all get on our planes and go see our families in our home countries where we want to.
Yeah, I mean, you're still top of the league, and like I said, of all three of the teams, and we're going to talk about City here in just a moment because there's really not much more to say other than, we'll talk about Palace for a moment, but that none of the fucking top three were impressive at all this weekend. And if the result was a draw or even a loss for some of these guys, I wouldn't have been surprised because they did not look good at all. Palace, again, I mean, yeah, you got Liverpool at home, and so you lose 1-0 gutsy, but it's got to be a win at some point. You've got to fucking turn it around at some point, man. You're sitting in the drop, and as we talked about, we think that the talent is way too good on that team, and I think missing Decore has a lot to do with that. But at some point, there's got to be some fucking results, man. It's just a lot like Wolverhampton.
Eze's not creating as many chances.
Only difference between them and Wolverhampton is they aren't getting their asses kicked like Wolverhampton is. That's really the only difference.
Mateta's not scoring like he was last season, especially towards the end of last season when Glasner came in. Eze's not creating as many chances, and Nketiah hasn't really gotten up and running yet. He's not one to play off the striker either, Nketiah. He needs to be the point man. So I don't know that this Mateta and Nketiah duo is working at all.
Well, because what they've been kind of doing is Mateta up top with Eze and
Nketiah just behind.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be
that's not
working.
Eddie's game at all. Eddie needs to be the point man. Mateta also obviously needs to be the point man. This was like when they tried Odson Edouard next to Eze, and that didn't work. So they just dropped him and went straight for Mateta. But you got to make a choice between the two of them.
Have the hot hand play and let the other one be the sub, and then when the other one starts scoring goals, you switch them. Very simple. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why like Everton doesn't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Beto playing on at the same time.
Unless you're chasing a game with 5 minutes to go and you're going to be hoofing the ball.
Right.
Exactly right.
They're the same fucking player.
Yeah.
Like don't do that.
They're occupying a lot of the same spaces and I think getting in each other's way. Obviously, Liverpool will be happy with the 3 points that going in the international break top of the league. But the injury to Alisson is going to be, especially if Kelleher's not close to coming back, that is a massive, massive miss.
Especially considering you've got Chelsea and then Arsenal right around the corner.
Exactly right.
Those are big. Manchester City, Kovacic gets a brace, which was good because there were some
via massive deflection.
Yeah. But outside goals, so kind of doing a little bit of what Rodri does, a little. So again, we talked about he's not a bad player. He's not a bad fill-in. He isn't Rodri, but at least he offers something, right? And then Doku's fucking goal was brilliant, but frankly, tons of fucking chances for Fulham.
Oh, yeah. Fulham should have won this game.
Fulham got to experience firsthand bad Adama Traore because Adama Traore had 3 on fucking goal and fucked off all 3 of them.
Yeah. Kicked him straight at the goalkeeper.
Fucked off all 3. And
then one wide.
They had 6 dead to rights breakaways on City, and they didn't put a single one in the net. It took the fucking beautiful fucking back heel from Jimenez to get that first goal. That was sexy.
That's the assist of the decade.
It was so fucking sexy.
That is the assist of the decade there. That was fucking awesome.
And for him, you got to be happy. It's the goals and an assist.
And then Muniz got subbed in and scored.
He's contributing.
Which is huge.
Muniz is scoring. All of that. That's what you want to see.
It's all very, very good for Fulham right now.
Really, the big thing for Fulham, and that was just you had every opportunity to walk away with a point or even 3.
The difference is if that falls
chance against City, how do you not take advantage of that?
Now they don't have the pace to do what Traore did, obviously.
Right, of course.
But to just take the chances in isolation. Forget about the run for a second. If that falls to Iwobi, Smith Rowe, Jimenez, or Muniz, 9 times out of 10, it's Ripple in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's in the back of the net.
In my opinion.
It's absolutely in the back of the net.
The fact that it fell to probably the second worst finisher in the league behind Timo Werner is why Fulham walk out of here pointless.
Well, and then he had that first one that just came right across the face of the goal, and all he had to do was just put it barely over the keeper, and he skied it up into Rosette. It was just really, really bad. And again, for City, great. 3 points. you can't be too happy about that. That was not a good fucking performance on your side.
No, they are. Holland didn't score, so there's that for the rest of us.
Hey, stay humble. Stay
You
humble.
know who did score?
Yeah.
Berglund Strand Larson.
Goddamn right he did. Sorry, Russ. Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0. Leicester are now the only promoted team to get a win, and it took 7 weeks for even that to happen.
Yeah, Buonanotte showed his intent, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a venomous strike early on that Kepa had to deal with and dealt with it well. But 10 minutes after that strike, he did get his goal, and it turned out to be the only goal of the game. Bournemouth had a ton of chances. They came down, they tried and tried and tried, but Leicester were pretty stout defensively.
Here's the damning stat. 17 shots from Bournemouth, 2 on target. That's the stat right there. And obviously Palace and Everton and Wolverhampton are all doing very poorly right now. I have a feeling they will start to turn it around. I'm starting to kind of think maybe the 3 that got promoted are the 3 that go right the fuck back down.
It absolutely could be.
Like now, I mean, again, you feel like there's enough crafty veteran players on Leicester to maybe kind of figure out a way to
I think Wolves are in big trouble. I think Wolves are in big trouble.
I think
agree. Southampton are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Which means there is a space for one promoted club to stay.
One promoted club to stay, yeah.
But I just don't know who that's going to be yet. I think, like you say, Leicester probably has the best chance of that.
Yeah. Also, just enough players on that team that have Premier League experience from being there before, or
and Cooper, who's been there and avoided a relegation already once,
and a guy like Buonanotte who came from Brighton, so he's they've got good pieces, and David Core Reed and Ayew, so they got people who know how to be crafty and stay up.
Now the last thing I want to say about this though too is the Cherries did hit the bar a couple of times, so which I think should count as shots on goal. Personally, you're a quarter inch away from
it should be a shot
being
on
in the back of the net.
I don't disagree at all with that.
So they don't count those, but they did strike the crossbar twice. There were a fair few deflections in there. Leicester were defending for their lives at times. And but they did get the blocks in, right? So obviously those don't count as shots on goal either. But Bournemouth were putting themselves in good positions. I also thought the referee's a bit of a cunt here. Blew the whistle when I think it was Semenyo had the ball on the corner of the 18.
Yeah.
They played a short corner.
Yeah.
And he set the ball out to get ready to cross it. Ref blows the whistle. I find that to be quite strange.
You got to let him have that opportunity.
So, not that they would have scored from it necessarily, but you took the potential of a goal away.
You give them the chance.
Leicester have to get that ball cleared before you blow that whistle, in my opinion.
Yeah, all they got to do, and they don't even have to clear it all the way out of their defensive end. They just got to get the ball high in the air and away, and that's enough for the blow the whistle. But if a team is attacking the net, you got to give them that opportunity.
I did want to mention that. I thought that was a bit strange that he blew the whistle when he did.
So, honestly, a missed opportunity for Chelsea. Like, here's a chance to really kind of be in the discussion. And, yeah, you're at the City ground, but you go down, and they're also at 1 point to 10 men. And
that's where we have to start the conversation.
Manage a 1-1?
That was a bold decision there from James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
That was the dumbest thing of the weekend.
Yeah, because he didn't. I mean, even if the ball had gotten past him, that player's still got a lot of field to run. You got to assume your defenders are going to get back. Like him doing the fucking fall and grab and hold, but
he wasn't even touched. Yeah. I don't know why he went down.
Yeah, you just don't need to do that, dude. You don't need to do that.
But he went down and grabbed the ball. He starts to walk off, and the referee hadn't gotten the card out of his pocket yet.
Yeah,
but he. So he thinks to himself, I guess, he's like, all right, I'm going to stop him, adjust my socks on the off chance I'm not getting carded for this.
Right.
And then he turns around, and he was like, he saw his hand in his pocket, and he was like, oh. And then turned around again, and the red was already up. So and he knew. What a boneheaded fucking play. You're on the yellow card, and you just intentionally handball on midfield.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
If it's the 35 yards out and the player's going to be dead away on goal, okay, you take the red, you call it a day, right? But It's at midfield, man.
60 yards away.
Like,
and he's running like it's near the benches. He's running on the right side of
have
the
some
field.
faith. Your center, one
He's
of your
not
center
even
backs
right
is
down the
gonna
middle.
Get there, like
It's so stupid.
Some faith that they're going to get there.
That's the
It was
stupidest
very-
thing I've seen for a long time.
Very boneheaded from someone that should
That
know
experienced,
better.
yeah.
Should definitely know better.
What an idiot.
Wood gets the goal, but the interesting thing, Awoniyi is back and healthy, and he's played behind Wood a couple of times, but like,
Chris Woods made that position his own now, I think.
yeah, I mean,
And it was his goal was very similar to Strain Larson's, but Chris Woods was a ton easier than Strain Larson's was. He was kind of running more at a diagonal towards one of the posts when he got his flick, but it was one of those, again, tall guy stealing in front of the defender and getting a boot on it. And just giving it a little flick just to divert it into the far corner. Like I said, Strain Larson did that while running away from the far corner,
Right.
towards the ball, and just flicked with the outside of his right foot.
Yeah.
Chris Wood had a more favorable angle, but it was a similar style goal. And then you had was it Madueke, I
Yeah.
think, that scored
Yeah, Madueke.
the Chelsea goal. Good for him to get back on the score sheet. Did go off injured. I think oh no, you know what? I don't think he pulled out of the England squad. I think he might still be fit. But Nicholas Jackson may be getting suspended
Oh yeah, what for?
in that melee at the end there, where another really stupid thing to do. I don't know why in the position they were in. I can't remember who it was for Forrest. Gave Cucurella that nudge that sent him flying into Enzo Maresca
Right.
on the side. It was kind of an inconsequential position and an inconsequential piece of play.
Right.
Obviously got the foul called, but in the melee, which had substitutes involved, had coaches involved in a big shoving, pushing match, Nico Jackson was seen to have slapped somebody after the fact. Just like reached over, slapped somebody in the face. So he could be seeing a retroactive ban for that. The referee saw it, apparently. The VAR saw it, apparently. But he had already been subbed off. He was in his track top. So because he was not on the field, where if the ref sees something, decides not to give a decision, they can't really go back and look at it.
Right.
Because he was not an active player, they can go back and look at it, apparently, is the explanation I heard. So he could be getting retroactively banned. The other thing I loved during that melee, if you see it from the opposite angle, Cole Palmer's just sitting on the ground watching it happen. He just decided to literally take a seat, does a little kind of roll around, and then just sat there watching everyone fight each other.
Yeah, why not?
It's very funny.
I'm not going to get involved in this. We'll be all right.
Yep.
Final match, and I'm going to say my piece very quickly. And if you want to talk about the goals, by all means, please do. Because it was a pretty fucking batshit game. But first half was all Spurs. Second half was all Seagulls. And the worst part is because Ange only has a plan A is why they lost. Like, all they had to do was see the fucking game out. And they couldn't fucking see the game out.
So they always say that a 2-0 lead is the most dangerous lead in football, right? The reason for that, at 1-0, you know somebody can equalize. You're on edge. You're alert. You're still paying attention. At 2-0, one goal can completely change the momentum. One goal can completely blow the steam out of your, blow the wind out of your sails, right? As the team that's leading, but also you feel comfortable because you have a goal cushion. But once you take your foot off the gas, we've said it time and time again, it's very hard to up the energy after you've come down a little bit.
True.
Which is why 2-0 is a scary lead. You need that third goal to put the game away. And Spurs did not go do that.
No.
Danny Welbeck enjoying, what seems to be a fantastic Indian summer on the South Coast to his career, just scoring goals for fun. Should have actually equalized right after Brennan Johnson took the lead for Spurs in the first half.
Yeah.
Couldn't get his header on target, but ends up coming back, scoring in the second half as well. Matoma back on the score sheet. And Georgina Ruder was excellent in the second half, I think. But Spurs just, I don't know what they're doing defensively sometimes.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. They individually, you would back all of those defenders to do stuff. Like Udogie, say young player, but since he's come into the league, I haven't seen him make mistakes like that.
Right.
And he was at fault for, I think, the the pass that led to one of the goals, and then was at fault for another one of the goals directly.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Not that I'm disappointed in it. I just don't understand it.
I mean, it's very
And
clear.
Brighton are a good team, and Brighton were at home, like all that kind of stuff. But
You can very easily point at this and go, Ange doesn't have a plan B. And Ange Ball, if you get found out, because a team like Brighton that's going to push the narrative a little will make you fucking pay if you're going to play a high line. And they just did. They just did.
right.
Sure money.
I've had one of the worst gambling weeks since sports betting became legal.
Wow.
It was not good at all.
across the board,
I
huh?
lost it. No, yeah, in real life too. It was not good.
Yeah.
I lost again. I'm down 600 U.S. Doll hairs because Villa and Chelsea couldn't get the job done against lesser opposition.
Yeah. That's all they had to do. Is if they had won, you'd have been, because you got the hard part out of the way. The over 2.5 and the victories for the two you needed. That was the hard part of the bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just all went to shit.
And then it all went to shit. Exactly right.
I unfortunately missed as well. I had big fucking faith in Ipswich to finally get their first win of the season, and they just got their asses whooped.
Big
All
time.
there was to it. So I am down $218.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know that 16.667% of the time it works 100% of the time? We're gonna put our
So 1 for 6.
1 for 6.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put our
It's only one better than I've got.
bets up, well, and a lot less money. I've got to actually, I'm only down 218. You're down 600 already.
That's fine. One of my 8 gamers will hit, and
Not
then
good.
you'll be in a
It's
bad way.
as our boy Adam always says.
Not good gambling.
Especially for you this weekend.
That was horrible.
All right. Well, we're gonna put up our bets on the old ticker talkers.
Yes,
on Friday.
at DU Football Show on TikTok. Make sure you're following that. And Friday at some point between the afternoon and midnight of the 12th. Is that right?
No, 19th,
19th.
18th.
No,
19th is the
18th.
games. Yeah. So the
The 18th. I'm at a wedding, so I will be doing that on the way to Philadelphia.
I love it. That'll be perfect.
I'll be doing that in the car, setting up for that one.
All right, it's gonna
And
wrap
that's
it up.
not even true. Is it? Oh yeah, no, it is. It is.
That's gonna wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
That's not true. It's next Friday. There's only a week off.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's next Friday.
Okay.
What's 18 minus 7? 11th. Fuck. Couldn't do math. No parting words, actually. Nobody that I know was being a dickhead. Just make sure you're following the social media so you catch all the extra stuff, man.
All right, if you're watching us live, next up is going to be DU Does EFL, where we're going to recap everything that happened in the rest of English football. Everybody had double games, so a lot of craziness happened. The championship is the fucking top 7 teams are all separated by 3 fucking points. It's absolute batshit.
Yeah, and like Sam said, we've got a fantastic recap of one of the games, and I am starting to believe proof that we're living in a simulation.
Oh shit!
There's a big glitch.
And then after that will be injury time, where we're going to go ahead and preview the games for the international break when we come back, so we can actually enjoy a little downtime next week. And of course, we talk about our beers and fantasy sports. And
We will
the
have
Gibbs.
one more whiskey this time.
Yes, we will
for the
on
EFL show. Yep.
And should somebody, obviously the EFL show is free, but if somebody wants to find our extra content, how do they go about doing that, Mr. Graham?
Easy, actually. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier. You get all the extra stuff. As Sam was saying, Injury Time, our preview show. But you also get Sound Check, which is our actual sound check. Sam and Mel sometimes fight. I sometimes cry. Sometimes you don't hear it. Because everything's turned down for some weird reason. Even though Mel pushed the buttons and it's not looking like it's turned down.
Right.
It's good though, but that's where you get a lot of personal stories from our lives. You get to hear about our families sometimes. My proclivities and sexual conquest that always result in children for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
All those things tend to pop up. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time on Soundcheck. And actually more memes come from Soundcheck than the show now. I'm
Yeah,
starting to
pretty much.
find. Yeah.
Pretty much, that's how it goes.
Over the last like 6 weeks.
All right, everybody, we got the international break, so we'll be back in a couple of Mondays. Until then.
Good night.
All right, perfect.
Guys are live again.
Hello, Internet.
What's going on?
Yeah, Ken and I enjoyed a side-by-side of the Edition 1 and Edition 2
Nice.
on Wednesday. The Edition 1, it was the barrel sample I had, so it was 100 proof, not the 86. The 1 is good, and I still have unopened bottles of the 1. I'm not going to bother opening them now. I'm going to hold on to them just because it wasn't readily released to people. But the 2 is stellar. The 2, I think, is better than the 1. It's you know what, for being such a limited release, this is a great it's a great first effort for a limited release for the brand.
All right, we got Shore Belly back.
Hello, sir.
Let's say 48.5 there.
Yeah, it's only 86 proof.
Okay.
So let's check one thing real quick, and then
That's 48.5% by volume, adds up to 97.
Okay. I thought it was supposed to only be, but okay, that's fine. Then it's 97. My impression was it was going to be an 86er, but yeah, 97 is fine.
No baby yet.
No, baby.
I don't think we're close to a baby.
Not at 3 centimeters.
Nope. She's so bored. I said, well, go shopping. Prime Day starts, the Amazon Prime deals start in 3 hours. So she could get all her Christmas shopping done while she's in labor.
Yeah. That's what we watched the whole first season of The Bear in there. We intentionally didn't start it at home. So we had something to do in the hospital.
Yeah.
I remember when my mom, I was 13, 14 when Katie was born, and 13, turning 14 soon. And when my mom was in labor, we were stuck with whatever was on network TV. And she got very lucky that it was Oprah Winfrey having the Chippendales on.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the cork's a little funked.
Wonky there.
Mel, would you like a glass of this? Or do you just want a sip of mine?
I've still got the other one. So
Okay, then don't even worry about it.
yeah, I'll take a sip. I'm still scared of drinking.
That's fine. Have a little sip of mine. There we go. All right, we ready to...
How much was that sip, Graham?
This was my bottle, and it cost you $0 because it was a sample bottle. But it would run about $2.50, so a glass of that would probably be about
It's got an
30 to...
eggnoggy taste to it.
It's exceptional. It's really fucking good.
Eggnog.
It does, in a good way.
For me, it's brown sugar. Tons and tons of brown sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
How's that not eggnog?
We'll talk about it on the show. Let's save it for the fucking show, kids. All right.
I haven't tried it yet. I didn't say anything. I thought she was being mean.
I'm never mean.
Except for she's always mean.
Get it together, Graham.
All right.
Mr. Graham, we had our first week of 857 games
That's
in
right.
the English League.
Always a good time in the championship.
When everybody starts playing over the weekend, then the midweek, then the weekend, and then when they come back, because there was going to be an international break, there'll be another weekend, midweek, midweek. And of course, while it's international break, everybody will play makeup games because there's 8,000 games. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL Show, a completely biased brief recap of the rest of English football as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, barely staying awake, Mr. Samuel Graham.
I am tired.
Yeah.
Still tired.
Still very tired.
Still very tired.
By the way, something behind me, I just looked it up, is missing an R.
Nice. Jurgen Stand Larson there.
Yeah, well, you know, he stands tall. He's a tall drink of water, so he stands there.
I love that.
And of course, on the ones and twos, producer Mel. How you doing, producer Mel?
I'm so much happier knowing that fact.
I love that.
Oh, God. Sure, Billy, you're the best.
We're recording at the U Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
You think the R got lost in all the tape and boxes and shit?
Fucking brilliant.
It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. Yeah.
I love it.
Just it's
It's
brilliant.
perfect.
It
It completely fits the bill.
It makes it even more perfect.
100%.
And the fact that it fits like a body glove too.
Oh, yeah. Maybe the R flew off the first time you put it on.
You know, it might have. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. And yes, we are drinking something different this time. It's not the same stuff because Sam's bottle is mighty expensive. Not to be outdone, I went ahead with something that was mighty expensive as well.
Absolutely. So this is the Westward Whiskey Milestone. Obviously, something that you have represented there. This is batch number 2. Clocks in at 97 proof. Legacy in the making. A bold and ambitious an achievement in American whiskey. Slow proofed in casks for uncommon depth of character. So what makes this one more better than the first one?
It is a Solera. Well, not so we're comparing apples and oranges when we're talking about those two whiskeys because the Stag is just an impossibility to get. Like
No. I meant versus edition number 1.
Oh well, they are very similar in the regards that it is a Solera system, right? Westward is known for their whiskey club, and they do a lot of different crazy finishes. We've had a bunch of them. What they have done is continue to take all the different fun barrels they have in the warehouse and add it to 2 primary barrels. In the case of a Solera system, as long as that primary barrel never goes below 50%, your oldest molecule of whiskey and your youngest molecule of whiskey are constantly commingling. So last year's had upwards of 19-year-old juice in it. This has upwards of 20-year-old juice in it. But there's also new elements added, right? So like in 2019, they did a Sauterne finish. That got added. So cognac finish got added to it. So it's all kinds of different mixes of all of those different barrels.
You can smell the cognac right off the nose.
It's
got a lot of French oak there for me.
It is. Well, there's a lot of wine wood. A lot of wine wood in this because a lot of the stuff that they've done is, you know, Chardonnay finish, Pinot finish. That's all French oak. They do some Tempranillo finish. They do some Cab finish.
Right.
Like so much old wood in this, you know, and then the cognac and the Sauterne and things like that. So it's all French oak. It's all fucking French oak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old wood.
Yes.
Is that what they call it when you get a boner?
Yes, it is. For me, it's big brown sugar right off the jump. It is sweet. It is really, really sweet is what I get on the nose. Specifically done as a lower proof, not barrel strength. And the main reasoning behind that is, one, Solera, you need to stretch what you're using, right? Because you can't go below 50%. And also, frankly, when it's got upwards of 20-year-old juice in it, doesn't need to be fucking cast strength. It's going to drink like ink if you do. You need to, like, you think of like that Middleton's that we had that was on the list from a few years ago.
Yes.
You need to proof it down. Like, it's just going to be too thick.
I got big time brown sugar up front. It kind of finishes almost a touch creme brulee, but the vanilla doesn't truly stand out there.
Honeysuckle from
Honeysuckle,
Sauterne.
yeah.
Honeysuckle.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh, she's a big sweet bomb.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, it's
That's pretty good. It's a great little dessert whiskey.
for being a first effort for Westward in that kind of category of the uber ultra premium, highly allocated. this is a great first step to the general public. And
I like it.
As a whole, 15 bottles to Maryland, 15 bottles to DC, 25 bottles to Virginia.
Nice.
That is it for the East Coast. New
I
York did
got
not get any.
4 of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Because your boy does good.
Yeah, your boy does very good.
That's one thing I could do is sell some whiskey.
Myself and Ken, good listener of the show, and of course we know his lovely daughter who just celebrated her birthday.
This show would be better with less F words.
Sorry, kid,
wouldn't.
ain't fucking happening.
Yeah, happy fucking birthday though.
But but he agreed first time tasting. He was like, "This is fucking stellar." In fact,
it's excellent.
reached out to one of the stores of yours that has it and is already procuring the bottle. He's like, "Yep, I need to have this bottle in my collection."
It's a good whiskey.
Run you about $2.50 on the shelf.
It's a very good whiskey.
So, what else should we do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
Fabulous. A fucking batshit crazy week in the championship as Blackburn lost. Oh, yeah, I forgot to hit the sounder there, Mel. Hey, Mel, go ahead and hit that sounder.
Championship corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
You're just very excited there, aren't you? To start talking about the Matrix.
I take full blame on that one because she was looking very attentively.
She had her finger hovering over the button.
She was ready to do it. And I failed everybody this time, and I will take full credit.
It was that old Wood joke. Threw you off
all the way. Again, a crazy week in the championship as first place Blackburn lost both of their matches over the midweek.
And that's only their first and second loss of the season. I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, they weren't in first at the time. It was still West Brom, but they were in third, and that was their first and second losses of the season. West Brom drew and lost and fell to fourth place. The Blades are the only one that remain unbeaten, and they've moved into second and only off of the top spot by a single goal. But Sunderland now find themselves top of the league as they had a massive match with Leeds. Reporting on that is our good friend. Some of you know him as Stat Boy, others as Geckel. But his closest friends know him as Geck. Mr. Graham, the floor is yours. Please give us the recap for Leeds and Sunderland because this was a wild one.
So David says, I guess I'm not friendly enough to call him any of the other things. He said the first half was end-to-end stuff. Sunderland completely dominated the first 10 minutes, and when they scored, I thought they were going to run away with it. Fortunately, it seemed to wake Leeds up, and they took control of the match. Joel Pyro, what a name, scored probably the easiest header he'll get all season as Willie Nanto put an absolutely perfect cross into the 22nd minute. Leeds kept control of the match for the next 10 minutes, and then Sunderland got back into it towards the end of the half. 1-1 at the end of the half. It felt that any result was possible at the end of that first half. Second half started with Joe Bellingham getting a yellow card for obstructing Pyro from the kickoff, which was quite funny.
Only in the championship.
Yeah. Well, at least they were out there on time. Famously, Manchester City don't come back. They got fined with $12 million or something for coming back late from halftime 6 times. Last season. So that's funny that they made it out there on time. I'm just gonna fuck with them though. Sunderland had a bit more of the ball to start the second half, but in the 55th minute, Leeds scored with a lovely bit of skill. 4 defenders collapsed on Largi Ramazani. Largi Ramazani?
Yeah, sounds like a winner.
That sounds like a pasta dish.
It's no Stan Larson.
And we can't call him his real name anymore.
No, from now on it is Stan.
It's Stan Larson. He stands tall amongst the...
Yeah, exactly.
amongst the... whatever. That's good. But he was able to wriggle free and play the ball to Junior Firpo, who worked a nice 1-2 with Willie Nanto and put the ball in the back of the net. Junior Firpo sounds like something you do with a Willie Nanto, doesn't it? What a sentence. What a collection of names. Largi Ramazani wriggled free and played the ball to Junior Firpo, who worked a nice 1-2 with Willie Nanto. All of those things sound sexual.
And then Leeds, of course, have the song for Willie Nata where they sing the whole thing about him being Italian, and then just the end of it is, and his cock's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It doesn't stand tall, though. Sunderland had more of the ball after that, but they didn't create anything particularly dangerous, and I thought Leeds were doing what they had to see out the match, but then, in the 90th +6.
Ooh, this went wrong.
Jaden Bogle.
Glitch in the Matrix.
This is the glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, this is where I think is now confirmed that we're living in a simulation because I saw a man's chest disappear. Jaden Bogle kicked the crap out of Romain Mundle. What is with these people's names? That sounds like the part between the balls and the butthole. Oh, Mel, I've injured my Mundle. Romain Mundle, who I thought was pretty well boxed in on the touchline, about 10 yards from the midfield line. Obviously, Sunderland sends everyone forward for one last chance. Sunderland wins the header from the free kick, and Alan Brown kicks it hopefully at the end. It takes a touch off Junior Firpo. Fatmad credited him with an own goal, but I still haven't been able to see him touching it. Meslier just loses concentration, and the ball takes a weird hop and just rolls into the net. I just yell out, "What the fuck?" at work, mind you. Thankfully, it was Friday at 5 o'clock, so not too many people were around. Good teaching lesson for any young goalkeepers. Keep your eye on the ball. Make sure to keep your body behind the ball, and don't let the ball bounce because you never know what can happen. Meslier can make some incredible saves, but he's also not great on crosses, and he makes some rash decisions coming out of his box. He's still young, but he's played enough matches where shit like this shouldn't happen anymore. And that was Geck's recap of Sunderland versus Leeds.
And a 2-2 draw.
But that goal, Meslier, that final goal, the way that ball hit and bounced, it literally looked like it came up through his Munto or whatever that dude's name was.
It just came out the other side of his back.
It just came out the other side of his back. I think we're living in a simulation. I'd like to take the blue pill, please.
Too fucking hysterical. And they also drew in the midweek as well. And they're sitting, I want to say, in 6th right now. But first through 6th are through 7th are literally divided by 3 points right now.
Right.
Like it's
intense. Yeah. It's very intense.
West Brom fell completely out of the top 6 now, and they were first place going into the weekend.
Right.
I mean, going into the midweek.
It's wild stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I'm here for it. I want to.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. That's why the championship is so much fun.
And Middlesbrough is right on the outside looking in, so that's another one of those teams you like
Michael
to see.
Carrick managing them, actually.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very fun. Now, turning our attention.
Wait, time out.
Yes.
Time out. Mm-hmm. You didn't. I don't see here you mentioning Wayne Rooney.
No, I did not.
Plymouth Argyle.
No, they did get a win.
They did.
Yeah.
But Rooney wasn't there for it.
Mm-mm.
Rooney got sent off.
Right. I didn't see this.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
okay. So Rooney gets sent off, right, for remonstrating with the officials, of course. It's funny because, if you throw something, kick something, it probably gets a further suspension or a further fine or whatever. So he very angrily took off his jacket. Just motherfucker, like one of these, which is quite funny. He leaves the pitch. Plymouth Argyle score right at the death. I mean, stoppage time to get the winner. Mm-hmm. Right? They win the game. Full-time whistle blows, and all you see is Rooney emerge, jacket over his shoulder, to celebrate in front of the Argyle fans and start shushing the whoever I can't even remember who they played, but start shushing the other fans just as he's walking by. It was fantastic. And then he was also seen at Manchester United, looking very kind of blend of Hagrid and just like normal Scouse old man.
Yeah,
in the stands.
Yeah,
it was very funny.
Definitely.
Which is pretty good while he was watching Manchester United.
It's amazing what happens when you get into your 40s and, old metabolism catches up to you.
He's fat now. I mean, he's just fat.
Yep.
There's no two ways about it.
One final thing. We always like to talk about Pompey. Pompey got smacked 6-1 by Stoke. The women.
Hold
also
on,
got
I was going to say which one, the men or the women.
They both got
they
smacked.
both did. And both to Stoke.
But they did rebound with a draw against Oxford, so they're still sitting second to last, but they are level on losses and draws. They have one more draw than they do loss, but they still haven't found a win yet, so they need to get a win.
If I were to say to you, and we've both obviously been to Portsmouth, Portsmouth together. It's a rough and tumble town. It's a seaside city. It's a Navy city. It's known for being a bit rough around the edges. We had a blast there.
Oh, so much fun.
We did get a little nervous at first in the pub when we decided we wanted to play pool. Because we showed up a little before the game.
We were there before a good amount of the supporters were there.
Yeah, and we found the stadium. We got tickets in the club shop.
I think we would have made an okay account of ourselves if we stuck around, but we also wanted to eat food, and that pub didn't have food.
Right. I'm just saying, it got a little nervous when we walked in and everyone turned.
Yeah, we don't know
who you are. Yeah, and then we shot a game of pool together.
Yeah, yep.
And and that it was a little nerve-wracking at first, right?
Yeah. We immediately said we're Yanks, but we fucking love Pompey.
Yeah.
We love Pompey.
And they just, at that point, we didn't pay for a drink in that pub.
They were happy to have us.
They were happy to have us. It was great. And we're charming motherfuckers. We know what to do.
Also, the restaurant we went to after that, I did love when we go up to pay the bill, and the bartender just looks like goes, "Not from around here, huh?"
Yeah, exactly.
You don't say.
And
what gave it away?
Yeah. And what was really good about it is for all of those things that we experienced in Portsmouth. Still couldn't get it done on a cold, rainy night in Stoke, could they?
No, they could not. In fact, we
have to make our way to Stoke at some point.
Oh yeah, just because.
And it has to be a Tuesday.
And it's got to be.
And it's got to be raining.
Oh, God, I hope it's raining.
And I want to have a fucking blast, just so we can look down the camera lens and go, "We did it on a cold, rainy night in Stoke."
Oh God, yes. I might be one get a hotel room in Stoke and just be like, "We're taking the train.
We're
home
fucking partying. Yeah, we're fucking letting Stoke know what's up.
Stoke is gonna happen. All right, on to League One.
Masturbating on the balcony or something, just having a good time.
That would be Newcastle with the Willicopter, Mr. Graham.
I can see it now. 2 Americans stabbed in an alley.
On to League One. First and second place didn't change as both Birmingham and Wrexham won and lost over the entire week. But Mansfield Town got a big jump as they got 2 wins and moved up to third. Some notables. Reading got a win and a loss.
That's huge for them at this point.
Yeah, another win, yes, more points. And Wigan and Bolton, who were both slowly moving off the table, got a win and a draw. And all 3 of them sit somewhere between 13th and 17th place right now. So they're all kind of in and around that there.
Bless you.
Damn, you're sexy. And then finally...
You're so good looking.
And then finally, the bottom 4 currently, because we just thought we should take a quick look at that, is Crowley Town, who had gotten promoted last season. Shrewsbury, Burton Albion, and Cambridge all sit in the drop.
Yep.
All right. Aki is finally on the board as they beat... Shrimps out for Morecambe.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
They moved back into 23rd place, and Morecambe falls back into 24th.
If you're new to this show, we know it's Morecambe, but it sounds like it's spelled like Harambe.
Yeah,
dicks out,
and
the shrimps.
The shrimps. So it's shrimps out for Morecambe.
In case you don't know, we are dumb Americans, yes, but we're not that dumb.
If there's another team, that we're going to come on to that can just willy nilly decide J's and G's, we're going to call them Morecambe. Fuck you. That's all there is to it. And they only sit. By the way, Aki now only sit 1 point behind Carlisle United, so they're close to getting themselves out
of the drop.
Yeah, which is important.
Fucking huge, especially because one of our good friends works for them
now. And then, of course, the Shrimps are now sitting in the worst position in all of English professional football, which is dead last in the league.
We don't want Morecambe to go down either. We really want Morecambe to stay up, just simply for these jokes.
Yeah,
to be fair,
Carlisle can go down. I can do without Carlisle.
Yeah, I can do without Carlisle also.
Now, despite losing 6-2 in the midweek and drawing on the weekend, somehow Wassel have moved into first place because good old Gillingham, Gills, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Again, we're going to call him Morecambe if you're allowed to fucking change up the name for Gillingham.
I hate him. You know this. I can't stand Gillingham.
Well, Gillingham lost twice.
Good.
So that's going to make
Fuck
you
'em.
very
That
happy
gives
to
me
hear.
old wood.
And also worth noting, both Barrow and Doncaster also sit on 19 points. All of them sit on the same record. So first through fourth is only decided by goal differential.
Damn,
currently.
first through fourth.
Yes.
That's wild.
They are all on 19 points.
That's absolutely crazy.
Oh, that's going to wrap it up, Mr. Graham. Any parting words?
No, I don't have any parting words. But I now I'm gonna start looking up nightclubs in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Here's the other fun thing, because if we talk about Wickham at all, we call him Wickham, not Wycombe.
Yeah.
Right? We just call him Wickham, but Morecambe, Wycombe.
Is Morecambe.
Morecambe.
But it's different. It's totally different because there's more syllables in Harambe than there is in Wickham.
Yeah. And there's
But
and it's-
Morecambe has the right amount of syllables.
and because it's dicks out for
It is shrimps. Yeah.
it's just got to
Come
be
on.
what it is.
The whole thing.
It is-
I still, to
We're
this
making
day,
it so.
cannot figure out why that's a salute. Just whipping your chap out and just having it hang there.
Be
Why
like-
is that a salute?
Let me show my support for a dead ape by showing you all my fucking dick. Here it is.
It
Boom.
doesn't make any sense. It's so funny. I love everything about it. You know what I think we should do is we should take like a 3-day hiatus between London and Liverpool the next time we go over, and just go to random towns that we either want to watch football in or party in.
Oh, we gotta fucking
So
go
like,
to Aki.
I'd like to go to Stoke. I wouldn't mind seeing Norwich. A lot of people speak highly of Norwich. We've got to try to find a vodka Red Bull in Leicester. And then we've got to go to Aki.
Yeah.
So like I'd like to see some other cities in England besides the
Hells
couple
yeah.
that we've done.
Hell yeah.
Like
Absolutely agree.
we had a blast in Portsmouth, and I'd like to do that again in other towns.
So in about 3 years, when your youngest is actually almost in preschool, we could probably get away with
We
that.
could probably get away with it.
Yeah, that's going to be a while.
But I think it'd be fucking brilliant though.
Mel and I will be going there before you do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
But I think it'd be fucking brilliant if we got to do that.
Next up is injury time, where we're going to talk about the beers we've been drinking, our fantasy teams, check in on the IBS, and of course, preview the weekend's games once we come back from the international break. Should somebody want to find our extra content, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing it?
Absolutely. It's patreon.com/DUFootballShow. Just sign up to that one $5 tier and you get everything extra that Sam talked about.
See you in a couple of weeks.
We got to take that jersey to Wolves.